You're watching K34QB, Vail, Colorado.
Well, good morning and happy Thursday. It is October 3rd. Hard to believe that we are already in the last quarter of the year. I'm Kimberly Pro, and thanks for joining this morning. On today's show, we'll be talking about the Cindy Esquith Memorial Soccer Tournament that starts this weekend. Very exciting stuff. Plus, the Mountain Games athlete team will be joining us, as well as the Girl Scouts of Colorado. And then, as always, I'm hopping in the kitchen, showing you some fun and easy comforting soups to make this winter. All of that to get started, plus your weather. Let's go.
Get up, get ready to start your day. The mountains are calling you out to play. Come on, we'll make you feel right at home. Good morning, Vail. See what lies in store for you. There's so many things to see and do. Summer, winter, spring, or fall. Home in the Rockies has it all. So get up, get ready to start your day. The coffee's brewing, you're on your way. The fun is waiting outside your door. Good morning, Vail.
Another gorgeous day is upon us, so let's take a look at the weather for today and beyond. As you can see, it is 44 degrees this morning. Beautiful sunshine out there. I know I was enjoying it as I was making my way here into the studio this morning. A high of 73, so we are still seeing those pre-fall temperatures. We're looking at the winds from the west by southwest at about 5 to 10 miles per hour, so nothing out of the norm, just a nice brisk pre-fall day. Let's take a look as we move into the hourly. We've got 64 degrees at noon, 69 at 4 p.m., and we'll probably be reaching those warmest temperatures somewhere in the later afternoon. 8 p.m., 57 degrees, clear skies all day long. So just a gorgeous, gorgeous day out there today. Eagle County is looking at 79 degrees. Avon, we're looking at 75 degrees, and then Vail 73, and Denver finally matching our temperatures here in the valley with 74 for the high. So a nice, gorgeous day all across that I-70 corridor. Let's take a look at tonight. Low of 41 degrees, mostly clear. The sunset is at 6:45 p.m., so we are starting to see it get darker much earlier than it was this summer. Winds coming from the south by southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Now, the 5-day forecast. I know this is what you want to see as we are rolling into the weekend. Friday, 72 and sunny, low of 45. And then Saturday, it is a little bit cooler, but 69 for the high, 40 for the low. Sunshine all day long throughout the weekend. 70 on Sunday, 40 for the low. And then it does get a little bit cooler, but those nighttime temps stay just about the same. In fact, they warm up just a little bit. Monday, mostly sunny, 68 degrees and 41 for the low. And then we're looking at 69, mostly sunny with a slight cloud coverage, and 42 for the low. So lots happening on today's show. So let's take a quick break before we get started.
Good morning, Vail.
Lee Woods presents Nashville Roadhouse Live, where country meets rock and roll.
It's where I drank my first beer, where I found Jesus, where I wrecked my first car, I tore it all to pieces. Join us every week for more live performances right here on Nashville Roadhouse Live.
Did you know that all Eagle County residents and visitors can get a free Eagle Valley Library District card? All you need is a photo ID. You get our online databases and resources, free music, free streaming, all from wherever you have internet access. Free audiobooks and e-audiobooks straight to your phone. Go into your Eagle Valley Library District branch today and get your library card.
Now that was quite the impressive teaser because there are exciting things happening surrounding the GoPro Mountain Games. They have an inaugural athlete team, and joining me today is Braden, one of the selected athletes. Braden, how are you this morning?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Rocking and rolling. It's such a gorgeous day outside, but excited to chat with you because the GoPro Mountain Games, which we all know and love here in the Vail Valley, has an inaugural mountain athlete team. Can you explain a little bit about what that is?
Yeah, so this team is a group of highly motivated outdoor athletes that are just excited to get out there, showcase their skills, engage with other members of the community that are hoping to get into the sport. And I'm really stoked to, share that love and joy that I get while I'm outside and doing these different activities. And yeah, that's pretty much the whole basis of it.
Oh, you're a very impressive athlete, looking at all of your socials and all of the posts that you have there. So what made you decide to apply? Tell me a bit about the application process.
Yeah, so I saw it on social media one day, and I've been attending the games for about 5 years now, as a spectator and as an athlete. And one of my main goals in life that I've been pursuing is to try to help the younger generation find ways that they can have fun outside. And I find this festival being a great source to share with other people, get them off of their screens and their phones and get outside doing something active. And that was like one of my main goals to apply, use this as a connection for that.
I love it. You can see all of the boards and things behind you. So talk about the sports. What are you doing? What are you competing in?
Yeah, so I will be competing in downriver stand-up paddleboarding, which they'll have sup cross, where you'll be sprinting downriver for about 3 or 4 miles, and then sup cross is a shorter segment where you will be going through different gates, ferrying across the river, going head-to-head with a bunch of other people as well. Then I'll also be doing the raft sprint downriver. And then I'll also be doing the raft cross, which is the same thing as sup cross, just with 2 people in a raft going through gates, different things like that. I'm also going to be competing in the dual slalom mountain biking event this year as well, or next year. And those are just a couple of the main sports that I'm hoping to do.
That's incredible. How do you have time to practice? And, which interest started first?
I won't lie. I have less time to practice now than I did when I was younger, but I grew up mountain biking, and that was always a love. I used to race downhill at Winter Park at Trestle, and then I'd always find myself wanting to do tricks or get better and do different things like that. Then I also grew up being on the river with my dad. He was a raft guide and would always take me out on rafting adventures. And I was drawn to whitewater sports, and I used to love to always get out there and figure out some new activity to learn, whether it's kayaking or supping or any river activity. And throughout the years, I spend my summers outside just doing anything that makes me happy as much as possible.
It sounds like it's all basically second nature at this stage in the game. Now, as a team, do you all get together and practice, or is it more of an individual sport? Tell me a little bit more about the team dynamic.
Yeah, so it's a little bit more individual. We all have kind of selected categories that we'll be in. And I have yet to meet some of the team in person yet. We're going to be meeting soon and talking more about what else we can do together and different things like that. But I would say it's mainly, as of right now, individual, working on your select practices, but everybody that is there as a support and to help you out. If you need it, all you have to do is just go out there and ask.
The team comes from all over Colorado. You're based out of Fort Collins, is that right?
That is correct, yes.
Awesome. Well, do you have any advice to future athletes that really want to get involved and potentially become a member of the team in future years?
Yeah, I would definitely say, if you can make it to the festival, go out there and go to as many events as you can. Just go watch some of these, crazy athletes that are just pushing themselves above and beyond. And, you see that and you get inspired. And If anybody wanted to reach out, you're always welcome to reach out to myself or other members of the team on social media. We'd love to talk, and then in person, come up and find us, and we would love to, chat and talk about it and get you out there.
That's great. Now, Braden, I want to ask, we talked about the festival. Can you tell us a little bit more about what your typical day would look like? How do you start your morning? Where do you go as far as like preparation and being in a mentally right space to compete?
Definitely. So I'll wake up usually pretty early, around 6 or 7 a.m. And depending on which event I'm doing, I'll have to figure out the location that I have to go to. But usually my events are around 10 to 12 is when they start in the middle of the day. So I'll spend that morning supporting some of my other friends who do freestyle kayaking, and they'll be in the play hole in the center of Vail. So I'll be there cheering them on, thinking about what I can do to push myself and motivate myself to stay on top of my own game. And then usually I'll take a walk around the whole town, sometimes with music in my ears, sometimes with not, just kind of seeing everything, thinking about what I can do, what can I improve on, how my practice laps have gone. And then I get to the start and I get locked in, and I'll just go as hard as I can.
That's great. Now, do you have any like preparation or a specific workout routine that you do in the winter months so that you are feeling fresh and limber as you roll into the season?
Totally. So I'll do some running. I'll do short running, usually around 3 miles. I try to go at least 3 to 4 times every week, just to kind of keep cardio up and, staying healthy overall. And then I am also a very big skier. So I will use that time to practice a lot of my times on the slopes, whether it's in the park doing tricks or big mountain going fast, finding that powder. Really just, I'm down to do whatever hobby or any adventure that I can do. So I'm open to everything, but yeah.
I love it. Now, Braden, where can we go to follow you on socials to kind of see your preparation for next year?
Totally. So the main place that you can see me is going to be on my Instagram, which is going to be Braden_KB, BRAYDEN. And I'll be posting on my story a lot. I'll be making a couple highlighted posts as well of different training regiments and kind of sharing my stoke to prepare for this. And yeah.
Awesome. Now I have to ask, do you have one particular event that you're most excited about, or are they equal across the board?
They're pretty equal across the board. However, I am extremely excited for the Raft Cross event this year. It is a extremely difficult event because it's anybody's game. You don't necessarily have to be the best. You can be lucky. You just have to give it your all, and you're going head to head with about 4 other teams, and it's like bumper boats across the river trying to find those gates, those different holes. And I'm really excited to get back out there this year. And I've gotten close the past 2 years in the top 5, and me and my partner are excited to go in and try to win it all this year.
Well, let's see you take it home, definitely. Well, congratulations, Braden, on being part of the inaugural team. That's a really exciting accomplishment as well, and can't wait to see you compete in 2025.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Now stay tuned. We have a bit more of our show. We are just getting started.
Good morning, Vail.
Welcome to Hiring America, the television program that helps veterans find jobs and transition back into civilian life. Hi everyone, I'm Gigi Stone Woods. I'm truly honored to host this vital program. Reach out to the opportunities you see on this program by logging onto our website, hiringamerica.net, and by following us on social networking sites such as Twitter. We'll keep that information available throughout the broadcast and on our website 24/7. Now, let's get down to business.
This show looks at anything that has an engine and a story told by the owners. This is a scooter. Have you had it the whole time?
I have not. It's actually the 3rd time I've owned the car.
Sell, regret, sell, regret. to the actual prototype GT40. I got to sit in that car.
Oh, I gotta get me one of these, man.
We've got all the muscle, the speed, and the stories.
I got stage 4 cancer. A bunch of friends came together and decided that this thing needed to get done then. A lot of friends came together and made this thing happen.
Hey, if it has an engine and a story, you're going to hear about it on rides.
Almost every vehicle, doesn't matter what walk of life you're from, there's some tie to your past.
I'm Jason Kennedy, and this is The Wager. Let's go, Webb! We've all heard about this pickleball craze. Celebrities are playing pickleball matches all the time, and they're challenging each other to these ridiculous bets. Now I'm bringing the cameras to their house with new celebrities and a new bet every week. Hell of a rally there. It's just real, genuine conversation.
I got invited to Usher's birthday party. What am I doing here?
And some pretty crazy antics.
For fun and adventure, join me on Elizabeth Stanton's Great Big World. Find out where I'll be going next and which celebrities I'll be bringing along with me. I'll show you amazing destinations with lots to explore, and you'll get to know my celebrity guests the way they really are, up close and personal. We'll travel the world, experience new cultures, and together, try to make a difference. I'm Elizabeth Stanton, saying the world's a big place, and I'm going to show it to you.
Experience the beauty of fall on the rails of the Leadville Railroad. Take in the cool mountain breeze as you climb to 11,000 feet to watch the vibrant reds, oranges, and golds of fall come alive. Enjoy delicious hot beverages, learn some history, and relax with family and friends. Create fall memories in the heart of the Rocky Mountains. Offering daily trips, the weekend specials sell out fast. To secure your seat, book today at leadvillerailroad.com.
Well, welcome back to the Thursday morning edition of Good Morning Vail. We have exciting things happening all around our community, but particularly this upcoming weekend. It is the Cindy Esquith Memorial Soccer Tournament. So let's take a look at what they are going to be doing.
Welcome back to Good Morning Vail. Well, we are talking a lot of things sports today, and one big sport that just continues to grow in the Valley is soccer. So we've got Vail Valley Soccer here. I've got Carrie Thalen sitting next to me. How are you this morning?
I'm doing well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
We got a chance to talk before we came on air about the Vail Valley Soccer Club and the tournament you have coming up. How long has this soccer club been in existence?
This is our 30th year, so it's been around for a while. We're really proud of that.
30 years.
Yeah.
That's incredible. That's as long as the Valley has been formed.
Yeah, it's exciting.
All right. Now tell me about the different age groups and some of the competitions that...
So we are the competitive travel club. We're the only competitive travel club in the Valley, and we support basically from Vail all the way to Gypsum. In addition, we have kids that come over from Summit. We now have kids coming from Roaring Forks to train with our program. So we're really proud of how we've grown. It's from U7 to U19 is our competitive program, and then we also train 3 to 6 year olds with our Little Cubs program.
All right, that's a wide range. How many kids do you have total in the club?
We're about 350 to 400.
Wow. And so how does that mean for coaches? How many coaches?
We have about 20 coaches per season. So the high school girls and boys switch. So we're working with the girls right now. They'll go to high school in the spring, and then we'll get the boys back.
So with a program that's been around that long, I'm sure you've got some very successful athletes that have gone to college, gotten scholarships. How has that worked out?
Absolutely. We're really proud that we have kids playing at every level. So what we love to say is if this is your passion, there's a school for you, there's somewhere you can go, but we have kids playing D1, D2, D3, club and intramurals right now in college, the most we've ever seen. So the last 5 to 6 years, we're really seeing probably like 10 kids per year going to play.
Now, have you seen any of those kids come back?
Absolutely. That's probably the most exciting. They're coming back and they want to coach for us, which is what we love. So right now we have several coaches that played for us and went and played in college, and they're back and they're giving back as referees and also as coaches. It's really exciting.
Well, and like I said, it's been around 30 years, but I've been in the Valley 15, and I've seen the sport of soccer just explode here.
Yeah.
A lot of new kids playing, and a lot of tournaments actually coming into the Vail Valley, and you've got one on the way.
Yeah, so we run 2 programs. One is the adults in the summer in July, and then this is our largest tournament. And to date, this will be the largest ever. We have 193 teams, which translates to about 3,500 athletes. And when you add the spectators, which is the parents, the referees, the grandparents that come, we're looking at 15 to 16,000 people coming to the Valley October 4th through the 6th.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Now, with a group that big, with those teams, how many fields do we have here in the Vail Valley?
So we are a little different than Denver. So we utilize fields from Vail Mountain School all the way to Gypsum. So we are working with 24 fields. Every available field we are working with, which is great, from the school fields to like Singletree to Freedom Park,
right.
Ford Park, Donovan, Gypsum Rec, everything. We're taking advantage of all of it. And what's exciting this year is we have teams coming from New Mexico, Utah, Wyoming, and then all over the state of Colorado, from Durango all the way to Fort Collins.
Okay, Carrie, your title is Executive Director. So does that mean you have to orchestrate this entire show?
I actually have a fantastic tournament director and referee assigner. So Christina Moore and Lisa Reeder really do a lot of the work behind the scenes, and we couldn't make it happen. Lisa Reeder is the tournament director, and she works on this year round. And then Christina Moore helps with the referees, assigning them. We give them free lodging, which is how we get them to come. So they come
Right.
from all over the country. We have a crew coming in from Durango, from Vegas. It's really exciting. This is a huge event. We will fill every restaurant, every hotel. It brings in a tremendous amount of money in the off season for the whole Vail Valley. We're looking at $5 to $6 million.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's at a time when, typically things are slowing down.
Yes.
The leaves are done changing, and
Yeah.
so the leaf peepers aren't really coming up anymore.
Yeah.
And it kind of opens up the town for soccer.
Yeah, it's really a fantastic event, and we named it in honor of Cindy Esquith, who was really started soccer in this whole Vail Valley years ago. So it's a really special tournament, and we're really proud of what it does. It's our opportunity to give back to the community and support, and then also it gives kids who struggle traveling for out-of-state tournaments an opportunity to play locally. So it's really a great time.
Well, with the growth we've seen with the soccer club here in the Valley up till now, where do you see this going?
So we keep trying to expand it. What we need is more fields. So one of the great things about what we love is not only does this support our scholarship program, it gives us the opportunity to give back to the community. So we buy goals and leave them on local fields, like the town of Avon, Singletree. And so we let the kids use them year round, which is what we want. There's nothing better than them getting out there and doing something smart and healthy as opposed to getting into trouble. So we're really proud that we're able to replace nets on, high school goals and things of that nature. This is how we are able to do that. This tournament supports all of that.
And I can tell you that gets a lot of use. I live in Singletree. There's always kids out there on that field kicking balls into the net. So.
Yeah, and we love seeing it. It's great.
Great. Now, with the foundation, the club, how do you raise money to kind of do the things you do?
So this tournament is our largest fundraiser by far. So this is really how we do it. Then we also have a raffle in the spring, and you'll probably see the kids going around, and that would be our second largest fundraiser. We scholarship over $65,000 a year. We're really proud of that. We turn no one away for an inability to pay. We believe that everyone should have an opportunity, and we try to make that happen. And now we've expanded it so that the kids can go and showcase their talent in Vegas at the Mayor's Cup and different opportunities. So that's how they get their college scholarships.
Nice. And is there a sanctioning body that sanctions all these events?
So there's a couple different ones. We work currently with the Colorado Soccer Association, and they sanction our tournament. But there's also club soccer, and we could potentially sanction through them as well.
Okay, all right. And volunteers. Obviously, this is your biggest event.
Yes.
But throughout the year, do you need volunteers to help with anything?
This is by far our event that we need the most volunteers. But I would say that, yes, there's tons of opportunities. The other real big need is referees, which is a way of giving back, but you also will get paid. So it's kind of a win-win. So we called it like paid volunteerism.
Right.
And so anyone who has soccer knowledge and played in the past, you do need to get certified, and there's a small fee to do that. But it's a great opportunity to get out there, stay healthy because you're running around a bit on the weekends, and then you get paid. So it's a nice little side hustle. But that's probably our greatest need. And if the community, has a desire, that's where we would love them.
How can they find you and reach out if they want to?
We are at vailsoccer.com. And so we're online, and you can just reach out or email me at director@vailsoccer.com. And we're local, available. Our office is in Avon. But you can see us pretty much on any fields most days.
Coming up October 5th and 6th.
4th, 5th, and 6th.
4th,
So we
5th, and
start our
6th.
games on Friday
Yeah,
night.
I was getting ready to say, with that many teams,
Yeah.
my gosh, you probably run into the wee hours.
Yes, it's going to be, we have the lights turned on for sure.
Well, thank you for everything you're doing as executive director to keep the Vail Valley Soccer Club moving full force. It's just incredible. And to bring in business, the economy loves it as well. And I'm sure the kids, like you said, you're developing young minds into young adults that are successful in those careers as well.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
We'll be back. That is great. If you want to get out there, watch some great soccer, see some upcoming kids turn into young adults and go to college, you're going to see some big names probably rise out of the Vail Valley Soccer Club. So exciting for the local community here. We'll be right back with more Good Morning Vail.
Good morning, Vail.
It's time for the best coverage of the top stories in sports. The Sports Wrap with Jason Page starts now.
How do you make Anthony Edwards the face of your franchise if you're the Minnesota Timberwolves? We'll get into that.
And we say hello to our good friend Matt Verderam, who hangs out with us from SI.com. Their NFL insider, one of them, is hanging out with us on the program today.
Did you see Caitlin Clark last night? She put up a 40-burger, hits the game-winning three as time expires. Let's turn our attention to the Denver Broncos, one of the NFL's most dysfunctional situations.
The Sports Wrap with Jason Page.
For the latest and greatest trends in pop entertainment, Popstar Today brings you compelling celebrity lifestyle stories that matter most to you. From movies, music, TV, and streaming shows, to fashion, social media influencers, and the latest on who is seeing who. Join host Elizabeth Stanton as she digs deep and dives in. This is Popstar Today.
You know TV8 Vail has great local content, but did you know about our production services? Hire an expert to develop your website reel, commercials, live stream events, studio production, and more. If you can dream it, we can help you do it. TV8 delivers high-quality content in both English and Spanish. Contact us today to discuss your next project. Email Danielle at tv8vail.com or call 970-628-9881.
Good morning, Vail.
Well, welcome back to the show. Now, I'm very excited about our next couple of guests because we are going to take a deeper dive into the Girl Scouts of Colorado. Joining me today is Katie Singleton, the Chief Membership and Program Officer, and then a quite accomplished Girl Scout cadet, Lexi Johnson, as well. Ladies, how are you this morning?
Doing great. It's nice to be here.
Wonderful to have you both. Now, Katie, I'd love to dive in. So the Girl Scouts are so much more than people knocking on our doors or selling the delicious and wonderful cookies, known as the cookie business, within the organization. But can you tell us a bit about the Girl Scouts and the benefits to its members and beyond?
Absolutely. So Girl Scouts is really a wonderful hub for community for our girls in kindergarten through 12th grade. You might think of Girl Scout troops as being meeting at your school or at libraries or going around and participating in the Girl Scout cookie program. But it does go beyond that so much. There are wonderful lessons that girls learn focused on life skills, science, technology, engineering, and math. With a big focus on entrepreneurship and getting outdoors and having fantastic experiences. And as our girls get older, they get to do even more incredible things. And they're doing all of this with the support and guidance of supportive troop leaders who are in their areas, adult volunteers who've chosen to step up, raise their hands to be a part of these girls' lives and help be fantastic role models for them.
Oh, I love that. I know there's the Girl Scout leadership experience. And basically, I loved all the pillars just looking through it. Make new friends, find adventure, give back. You can earn badges and awards, lead the way, and then most importantly, have fun. So Lexi, you've been a Girl Scout for 9 years now. Can you highlight, you are currently a Bronze Award recipient, but you're working towards your silver. And so this is part of the badges and awards and giving back. Can you explain a little bit more?
Yeah, so those are the highest awards for Girl Scouts. There's bronze, silver, and gold. So I'm working on my gold right now. And I'm gonna do it on anti-bullying, because I was bullied. So now I'm taking the step of helping the people in my community not have that happen. So I'm doing martial arts and like training for if that does happen.
Well, that's great. So anti-bullying, I love that campaign, and that's very important. And the fact that you're able to take your own personal experience and then be able to use it to empower others as well. That's great. So 9 years as a Girl Scout, what has been a highlight? I'm sure you've had all kinds of growth and friendship, but is there anything that particularly stands out?
It might be the first year that I started. The first main thing that I did with my troop was we planted trees in one of our parks, and it was just really a cool experience. A bunch of people were there, and now most of them are my friends, and it's just so cool to look back at that.
That's wonderful. Now, Katie, how did you get involved? And tell me a little bit more about what your role entails.
Absolutely. I have been a part of Girl Scouts. I call myself a professional Girl Scout because I get the pleasure to work with girls like Lexi and our wonderful volunteers every day. But I've been a part of Girl Scouts for 11 years and have been here in Colorado for the past 9 of those. And my role, I get to think about our programs that we have hosted out in the state and how we can better support our volunteers so that they're really prepared to go out and bring a fantastic program to our girls. So there's a lot to it that people don't realize, but I love getting to work with Girl Scouts every single day.
That's wonderful. Now, can you talk a little bit more about the volunteer program now and how you fundraise and really support all of the programs that you are bringing to the Colorado area?
Absolutely. So our volunteers really bring the program to life in their local areas. So every single Girl Scout troop that's out there, we have at least 3 girls who are coming together and 2 adults who get registered with Girl Scouts, pass a criminal background check, and complete training so that they're really prepared to go out and bring this program to life in a safe and fun way with our girls. And so that is really the heart of the program, our girls and our volunteers. And so as we are going out, the funding question you asked was the Girl Scout cookie program really is an incredible component of our program. It's not the only thing that we do, but it is the highest visibility piece, and everyone loves their Thin Mints and Samoas. But it is really how girls fund their activities through the program. So being able to participate in this iconic cookie program, we are able to have girls go out and set goals for what they want to achieve, and then they are going out and making a plan for how they're going to deliver on that. So they might say, I want to travel across the country. How much is that going to cost? How do we make a plan for how we're going to get there? So there's a lot of financial literacy and business skills that our girls are learning as they participate through that program. And that is a huge component of the program and a huge reason that our program is able to be sustainable.
That's exciting. Now, Lexi, let's jump back to you. Let's talk a bit more about badges and awards. You've mentioned you're working towards your Gold Award, and that is a really excellent achievement to reach. Now, can you talk a little bit more about badges? How many badges can you earn? How many have you personally earned, and what does it take to get your badges?
So there are so many badges that you can earn, and I have not earned all of them because that would be a lot. Right now I have on this vest like maybe 9 or 10 badges.
That's great.
And I mean, it's just endless what you can do with them, and how many different things there is to do. And yeah, I keep working on them, and you just have a booklet that has what you're supposed to do to earn the patch, and
great.
It's really cool.
And so each patch, is it like a specific goal that you're working towards to achieve? Can you explain a little bit more?
Yeah. So, for example, I have one on my vest that is a babysitting one. So I went through like a babysitting first aid training, which was really cool. And I earned that patch, and I have like food one where you learn about all the different foods and learn how to like make them and what's good for you. And there's just so many more that you can earn and achieve.
Well, I love that. I think the entrepreneurial spirit of the cookie program, as well as learning all of these different life skills that you get through your badges, it's exciting stuff. Well, Lexi, best of luck to you in achieving the Gold Award. I know you can do it. I'm very excited to hear all about that. And then, Katie, where can we go for more information for volunteering or like learning how to get our own girls involved in the program?
You can always visit our website, girlscoutsofcolorado.org, for more information. And we are also planning to host a information night, troop formation event, October 23rd at 6 p.m. at the Vail Library. And that'll be really focused on girls in kindergarten through 5th grade. So we hope that we see a lot of families out there.
Exciting. Now, Lexi, do you have one piece of advice for a future Girl Scout?
That don't give up and just keep going with whatever you're trying to accomplish.
Wonderful. Well, ladies, thank you both for joining, and exciting to follow along on the journey and to get more people involved in the program. We appreciate you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now stay tuned. We've got a bit more on our show right after this quick break.
Good morning, Vail.
Take the first game every one of us played in the schoolyard. Turn up the degree of difficulty to maximum, and then let loose some of the fastest and most agile athletes in the world to go one-on-one in what you have is the most extreme pursuit contest you've ever known. It's intense, it's addictive, and there's only one rule. Don't get caught.
Oh my gosh. If you haven't seen World Chase Tag before, here's how it works.
2 teams of up to 6 athletes compete in a series of one-on-one chases. Each chase lasts up to 20 seconds and has 1 chaser and 1 evader.
Opportunities for points on the board! Oh!
Whoever wins the duel stays on as the evader, and teams get 1 point for each evasion they make.
And it looks like the opening point for this contest.
It's the best of 16 chases to win the match, with a sudden death chase-off required to break any ties. It's win or go home from now on. Don't miss it.
Every day around the world, when tragedy, danger, and disaster strike, when life and death hang in the balance, we look to the heroes among us.
Coming up this season on Ready, Set, Renovate, we see one couple fall in love with a waterfront fixer-upper.
It sort of wrapped its arms around us and said, you want me, and we did.
And watch as another battles over the budget.
We're trying to look through and see where we can trim at this point.
Are you looking to trim it, Ginger?
No.
No. Construction pros show us the right way to renovate.
Well, we had to do a roof over. We had to hand build a lot of the trusses.
As we're putting the thin set down, the self-leveler has a little clip that clips up underneath the edge of the tile.
TV8, there's more for you on 92. Serving the local community 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Good morning, Vail.
Now, back in the kitchen, this is one of my favorite things to do here on Good Morning Vail. And as the weather changes, I also love good, hearty, comforting foods, but also I actually love to eat soup all year long. So I'm going to show you a simple soup that you may have all the ingredients on hand to make at home, but it's 3 ingredients, maybe 4 if you're feeling fancy. This soup reminds me very much of growing up and the small town Italian restaurant that we had. It's called tortellini in brodo, which is basically tortellini in broth. How simple is that? So I've got chicken broth right here, and it does not matter what kind of chicken broth you want to use. I particularly like to use the free range, lower sodium, just so that I don't feel swollen when I'm finished eating my delicious soup. Then you've got greens. You can use any greens that you want to. I'm choosing to use spinach. If you wanted to feel fancy, you can always add some mushrooms into it as well, but you want to make sure that you thinly slice them so that they cook and just about as evenly as everything else. Now we also have our tortellini, super easy. 3 cheese tortellini, you can put whatever kind of tortellini you want to, but this is usually my go-to and most grocery stores have this on hand. And that is literally it. 3 ingredients. If you're feeling fancy later, we can top it with some Parmesan. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. We're gonna go ahead and turn on our stove. You just need a simple pot, that is it. And then we're gonna go ahead and get our chicken broth into the pan. All right, so all you're gonna take is, you don't have to measure anything out. We're just gonna pour this all the way in here and we're gonna let it come up to a nice boil. Once it comes to a boil, we'll add in our tortellini and we'll let those cook as well. So this is probably a nice 2 to 3 servings depending on how much you want to eat that day. But it's nice and light, but also comforting and just very delicious to eat. Now, this reminds me of my childhood, my favorite restaurant at home. It's this tiny little Italian restaurant called Renato's. And what they basically did is they had the tortellini in brodo. It was my favorite soup. To this day, it still is. So I'm always looking up ways to kind of reinvent that soup. So we're gonna go ahead and just let this warm up. I can see it's starting to boil up, but soup is just one of my favorite meals to make. You know, I like to do a chili, that's usually a go-to. This is a nice and easy one. If you wanted to add other ingredients outside of the tortellini and the greens, You can do like a kale if you wanted to. Spinach is usually a nice and easy greens to add into the soup because it cooks and wilts down very quickly. And then you can add some meats if you wanted to, or you could go with the tortellini that has the meat stuffed inside of it. I like the cheese because that is a classic Italian dish as well. So we're just letting it boil up. I can feel the heat from the gas stove here. It's getting warmer. I can start to see some of the bubbles starting to come up to the surface. You may not be able to see it on camera yet, but it is going to happen. Now we did that. We're gonna go ahead and cut open our spinach. One of the things with the spinach I like to make sure is I don't love the stems in spinach. So I always rip all of my stems off, and I usually will rinse them off as well just to make sure that everything is nice and clean. So I'm gonna cut it open. We've got our spinach nice and cut open, and then I've got a spoon here to stir the soup as needed. All right, and then we're gonna go ahead and take my spinach leaves, and I like to rip off all of the stems because to me the stems kind of get stuck in your throat. They're not as easy to digest, so I just rip them off just like that. We throw the leaves in here, and then I'll do a quick rinse of the leaves. It's okay if there's a little bit of water left on them as well. So it looks like these are looking good. We're just gonna keep on just sifting through the spinach to make sure that none of the stems are left on it. And you know, you can put as much or as little. You know, spinach does wilt down pretty drastically. So I would say we're gonna be working on this for a minute while we let everything else kind of cook together. So just gonna throw my stems on the counter here, and then I'll throw them out when I'm done using them, or done shedding them from the leaf themselves. So we'll just do that a bit, and it's looking good. I love the smell of chicken broth. I know that that means like a nice, delicious meal is coming my way. So we're looking good on these spinach leaves here. I'm gonna just keep on ripping them apart. Now I may actually just hand rip the spinach as well, but we'll wait till the last step to decide if we wanna do that, just so that it's a little bit easier to digest. It's smaller bites, smaller pieces, you know, just to make sure that it's a nice, delicious spoon-filled soup. Looking good. We are seeing the bubbles. As you can see, it starts when bubbles are starting to boil. You can see it comes from the outside inward into the pot. So it's nice and thin. We're going to go ahead and put our tortellini in there, into the broth itself. Now, I have scissors here. We can cut it just like that instead of trying to stab the product and, you know, potentially injure yourself. You don't want to do that. So we'll go ahead and get this packet open. Now, looking great. With the tortellini, it's really easy to tell when they're done. They're gonna sink to the bottom. We're gonna pop them in there, just like that. And then they'll rise to the surface when they're done cooking. Now, depending on if you want them al dente, you can kind of test it earlier, but this is even better because you don't have to worry about having to rinse them and pouring them back into it. We're cooking it directly into the broth. Tortellini in brodo, so nice and easy. Nice and easy there. Now I'll give it a quick little stir, just like that, and we're gonna let it continue to boil, let the tortellini cook. I'd say it'll probably be about 5 minutes or so for it to fully cook, and then we'll add the spinach into it maybe just before they're finished so that the greens can wilt and all melt together. And then if you want to add some Parmesan cheese on top of it, if you're feeling fancy, if you like a little kick, you can always add additional Italian spices to it. Maybe some red pepper flakes, whatever your choice is, but this is literally the most simple soup to make. You just throw some broth together, throw some tortellini into it, and we'll just keep adding some more spinach to it. You can add the mushrooms, the spinach. I would say you can even add onion if you want to, but really the base of the soup is the greens, the tortellini, and the broth. And now you can see the bubbles are just really coming together. We're getting a nice boil going here. As soon as it really starts to be a full rolling boil, we'll reduce the heat down to about a medium so that they can cook and just really kind of simmer and melt into that broth there. So it's looking great. I'm ready to eat. I know it's technically breakfast time, but I am ready to have soup because I can eat soup any day of the week. I tell you what. All right, we're gonna go ahead and give these guys a little bit of a rinse here in a second. I'm just gonna keep just ripping the stems off of the spinach. I know some people think that's ridiculous, but for me, I just don't like the spinach stems. They get, I don't know, I don't like the way that they feel in my mouth. So we're going to go ahead and get this going. I'd say this is probably good for now. We can always add more later if we want to, but I'm going to give it a quick little rinse. We're just going to rinse it in our sink here. And I'm rinsing them because it will basically, just to get any excess, there may be some excess dirt from when they were harvested. We'll just rinse it out and then just pour out the spinach just like that. All right, looking good? All right, you can see that our tortellini is boiling. Now you don't want it to boil for too long because basically what happens when it boils is that the broth starts to evaporate through the air. And so we want to make sure that we don't evaporate it too much. So we're going to lower it down to medium. The tortellini are looking great. They are starting to kind of rise to the surface there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get my spinach going. We're going to start ripping it up a little bit and then throwing it into the pot just so that it cooks just like that. Looking great. It smells great. Again, if you want to add more spices to it, you can. You can add the Italian seasoning, the red pepper flakes. I would do the red pepper flakes afterwards. That is only if you like to have a kick. So just keep doing that. And then, as always, adding some classic Parmesan or mozzarella, or you can just leave it because it's already cheese tortellini. We've got some Parmesan here, so I'll probably add a little bit of that when I eat it later, but we're just going to let it continue to simmer down. It's looking great. Oh my gosh, it smells great. We're just going to let it keep cooking, let those greens melt into the soup. And if you wanted to, we could even just put the lid on it just like that and let it kind of meld together. It's going to be delicious. But that is a 3-ingredient soup, tortellini in brodo. It reminds me of my childhood, and I cannot wait for you to try it at home. Let us know if you're watching live on YouTube or Facebook, and we'll be back right after this.
Good morning, Vail.
One of the longest-running syndicated television series is back, America's Black Forum, a weekly series highlighting the latest in our lifestyles, business, entertainment, and finance. We introduce you to entrepreneurs who are making their mark in the business world and leaders who are fighting for change.
Welcome to America's Black Forum.
Tune in each week to know what's happening in our world today on America's Black Forum.
I'm Amy Goodman, host of Democracy Now! Our independent news hour offers diverse perspectives and unique opinions, often unheard in the mainstream media, live as the news unfolds. Tune in for Democracy Now!, the War and Peace Report, weekday mornings at 9 and evenings at 6 on TV8 Vail, Comcast Xfinity Channel 92. There's more for you on Channel 92.
Tune into Coffee with America and start your day in the right direction, where we go over the latest and greatest in health, lifestyle, entertainment, and more. Start your day off on Coffee with America.
I'm Danella Richard. I've made a career traveling the world. I've worked for some of the biggest names in travel, and now I've traded in my business suit for a swimsuit. Swimming with the sharks, swinging at the edge of the world, throwing back a few shots, or shall I say spirits. Eating some of the best cuisine, and even making a few furry friends along the way. I invite you to come along with me and discover the world.
Hi there. Are you ready to explore famous neighborhoods from New York City to Kentucky? Watch The Neighborhood with host Nicole Newman. Featuring famous people, unique history, and delicious places to eat and drink. Our viewers get an inside personal look at each neighborhood. With each episode we learn, grow, laugh, and live like a local, not just a visitor. Welcome to The Neighborhood. Check your local program schedule and tune in.
Hey, it's your boy, Nephew Tommy, your host for an all-new season of Black College Quiz, where the nation's best and brightest display their knowledge of Black history and culture while competing for prizes and scholarships. So get ready to see HBCU Nation take the academic field. Black College Quiz! BCQ! Black College Quiz! BCQ! Black College Quiz. Yeah, man.
Good morning, Vail.
Now, before we wrap up our show this morning, let's take a look at the 5-day forecast. As you can see, we've got sunshine all weekend long, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. 72 for the high Friday, 45 for the low, so a warmer evening. Saturday, 69 for the high, 40 for the low, 70 on Sunday, 40 for the low there. And then we've got a little bit of cloud coverage and highs in the 60s on Monday and Tuesday, 68, 69, and then lows at the 41 and 42. Now, it has been just an absolute delight being here with you on Good Morning Vail. I can smell the delicious tortellini and brodo. As you can see, it really didn't take very long for it to cook. Let's take a quick look. I'm going to ladle some of the soup in here. It just looks beautiful, just like that. You've got some tortellini, you've got a little bit of the broth, a little bit of the spinach, a 3-ingredient, delicious, homemade soup that reminds me of my Italian grandma and my favorite Italian restaurant growing up. Thanks for joining. I'm Kimberly Perot, and I will see you next time.
Good morning, Vail. See what lies in store for you. There's so many things to see and do. Summer